We must not make a big fuss. There is only one part of the evidence. You just need to send someone to steal it back. Li Rutoi was shocked by the details. He even knew the password to the safe. Wu Chen played with the lighter in his hand. Thirdly, you should quickly report this matter to your grandfather, especially the business dealings with Zihu. It must be reported clearly because the force behind all this is the Yuan family. The Li family and the Yuan family have been fighting for so many years. Once the two sides go to war with all their strength, many forces will be imprisoned. This time, the Yuan family made the first move, so the Li family had to form an alliance with the Ding family to fight against the Yuan family together. If you let the Yuan family get a hold of you, they will use it to drag the Li family down with them. Even if the big trouble is resolved, there will still be many small troubles. You must tell your grandfather to resolve it. Understand? Li Rutoi replied, I understand. I will tell my grandfather. Wu Chen played with the lighter in his hand. Finally, set fire to the Emperor Club. Li Rutoi couldn't believe it and asked again, set fire to the Emperor Club. Wu Chen explained, just a little bit, just enough to cause a stir, but that opportunity can be used to temporarily suspend internal rectification. Isn't that more reasonable? If you can do these four things, I guarantee that you will be able to get through this hurdle smoothly. Li Rubing suddenly reached out and grabbed Li Rutoi's hand. Li Rubing raised his voice and asked, did you hear what your brother-in-law said? Li Rutoi hugged Li Rubing's arm. I heard it. Please rest assured. I will do as brother-in-law says. Suddenly, Li Rutai's phone rang. He quickly answered it. How much did you lose? The other end of the line replied, 200 million. Li Rutoi turned pale. It's over. 200 million. I'll go over now. Then, he turned to Li Rubing and Wu Chen. Brother, something happened at the casino. Wait here for me for a while. Wu Chen touched his chin. It's Tong Guangjun, the boss of Fushi. Li Rutoi was surprised and asked, how do you know? At this moment, in a luxurious casino, everyone was happily gambling. The group of Wu Chen slowly walked into the casino. Wu Chen said, Tong Guangjun came to Donghai yesterday. He even specially invited gambling masters from Macau come for revenge. The reason why you are being suppressed this time is not because Huang Jun is too ostentatious or because you secretly filmed and blackmailed important figures, but because of the casino. It turned out that your business with Zihu was to use your connections to cheat some tycoons who came to gamble. There are actually many hired gambling masters hidden in the casino. Of course, if they win, you will win. If they lose, you will also lose. Tong Guangjun lost several hundred million here, which has caused a break in the company's cash flow and caused a lot of problems. In order to resolve this matter, he has been mobilized capital from everywhere. In the process, he found out that there are many other rich people who have lost money just like him. Tong Guangjun reported this matter to the Yuan family. During the investigation, they found out about you extorting money with the indecent video. They did not hesitate to seize the opportunity to join forces with others. They are preparing to use this matter to bring down the Li family. Normally, Tong Guangjun would not dare to bring a master here. After all, he can't afford to offend the Li family. But now he doesn't need to worry about you retaliating because he guessed that you will go to jail sooner or later. Li Rutoi said, how dare he provoke me? Doesn't that bastard want to live anymore? Wu Chen advised him, don't be agitated. Let's go and take a look at the situation first. When they walked in, they saw Tong Guangjun, the boss of Fushi, playing cards in the room. He was standing to the side and smiling. The gambling expert from Tong Guangjun threw out his cards. The person who was the banker lost and said, I lost. Tong Guangjun pushed the chips on the table and laughed loudly. I'm rich. Li Rutoi walked up to Tong Guangjun and said, Boss Tong, you're in a good mood today. Tong Guangjun stopped laughing and replied sarcastically, I won quite a bit of money today. Surely young Master Li won't mind, right? Li Rutoi said generously, we don't lack this little money. Tong Guangjun said excitedly, all the experts have already come out, but they all lost. It seems that young Master Li's luck isn't very good today. Wu Chen arrived beside him. I don't think so. Wu Chen started to shuffle the cards, drew a few cards, and then caught them and said, Boss Tong, are you interested in playing 2 rounds with me? Boss Tong laughed out loud. Why did you suddenly change a newbie? Young Master Li, You lost too much money, so you took a risk, right? You've already lost more than 200 million to me today. If you still want to give me money, I don't mind. Li Rutoi didn't know what was going on and turned to Li Rubing to ask, what's going on? He knows how to play cards. Li Rubing didn't know how to reply, I don't know. Wu Chen knew that people beside Boss Tong was secretly assessing him. The masters rely on the facial expressions and actions of their opponents to play mind games. It takes a lot of experience to master this skill. What an ignorant fellow. I can tell what cards he has by just looking at his face. Li Rubing called out to Wu Chen and whispered in his ear, is that okay? Wu Chen replied lightly, I can help you win back all the money you lost today. Wu Chen sat down, and the staff started dealing the cards. Wu Chen thought to himself, not checking my whole cards, this is him habit. Wu Chen flipped open his cards, it was a aces of spades. The expert raised his hand, your cards are bigger, let's bet. Wu Chen threw out a chip, 500,000, the expert pushed his glasses up, okay, after the first round, Wu Chen threw out another chip, 500,000 and asked, what about you? The expert took off his glasses and said end. In the fourth round, the expert continued and, in the eighth round, Wu Chen continued to raise, 500,000, the two sides continued to play until the 15th round, Wu Chen said, and, Wu Chen continued to win until the 21st round. The other side continued to raise, 500,000, Wu Chen won again. Wu Chen said, I won again. Li Rutoi couldn't help but mock him. Boss Tong, it seems that the person you invited has run out of luck. Boss Tong also responded politely, oh, it seems that young Master Li's luck has returned. Boss Tong was like a poisonous spider waiting for its prey. He thought to himself, you little brat, you think you can take me down just because you won a few rounds. Boss Tong recalled what the expert had said, I have a habit of losing a few rounds intentionally at the beginning. Then I take this opportunity to observe your opponent's habits and analyze their psychology. Only then will I fight back. At that time, Boss Tong had said, you can make your own decisions. Boss Tong analyzed again. Li Rutoi had already lost more than 200 million. He couldn't just say that he wouldn't play anymore. Once he ran out of money, he would definitely continue playing. They continued to play until the 30th round. The dealer asked all two sides to end. Wu Chen pushed out a large amount of chips, 1 million. The expert thought to himself, he didn't even look at his cards and just directly raised. It seems that he is very confident in his luck. The expert replied, okay. After 4 more cards were dealt, Wu Chen continued to raise the chips, 1 million. The expert looked at Wu Chen's cards and secretly evaluated them. Wu Chen's cards are very low, and I have a pair of king. Then, the expert confidently pushed out all his chips and said, if that's the case, then I'll raise all in. Li Rutoi observed Wu Chen and thought to himself, judging from his expression, he seems to have a higher chance of winning, but he didn't look at his cards, so it's still hard to tell. Wu Chen examined the 2 cards and made a decision. I'll also raise all in. The expert took off his glasses and suggested, there's not much money on the table, let's add another 100 million. What do you think? Wu Chen said, 100 million is not enough, let's go all in, 200 million. Li Rutoi signaled the staff to bring more chips. Soon, 2 waitresses in bunny costumes brought in more chips. Wu Chen continued to laugh, I'll add another 100 million. What about you? The expert continued to think, according to my observations, I could tell that the most important card in Wu Xiaojian's hand was the one he had placed his hand on. That is to say, there was a high probability that Wu Xiaojian's cards were a pair of aces. The expert decided to end and said, if you had followed my suggestion and added another 50 million, you might have won another 50 million. Li Rubing couldn't help but turn to Wu Chen and ask, are your cards aces? Wu Chen shook his head, no, my cards is 2 of hearts. The expert was furious and stood up to slam the table. You cheated on me. Wu Chen said calmly, you don't dare to bet, why are you blaming me now? The expert sat down. He continued to think, I've already grasped your habits. The 2 sides continued to the 31st round. Coincidentally, both sides had similar cards. The expert looked at the last card, which was a 9 of diamonds. The expert thought to himself, Our whole cards are the same, unless Wu Chen's card is a 9 of spade. He